Hello, everybody, and welcome to Metrics Flair new blog interview about customer success stories. My name is Isidora, and I will be your host today. Well, I'm more than happy to introduce my guest this time. This lady is for sure someone who adores and enjoys sailing in a customer-oriented world. So her dedicated work is recognized, and she has been nominated for the top 100 customer strategies. And this year, she was nominated as a thought leader. So my guest is Elisabeth Courland. Elisabeth has been a customer success job for more than 6 years now. And now she is the head of the customer success practice in Uppercut First and also Agorapulse digital customer success manager. So this is not all. She's also the creator of the digital CSM website and the open book of customer success. We will talk about that later. So Elisabeth, welcome today and thank you for joining me for this interview. I'm really excited to talk with you and to learn from your experience.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Isadora, and thank you for the very long introduction. I know that's my fault. I have too much on my resume, so thank you for mentioning everything.
Well, perfect. If I forgot to mention something, feel free to add.
I will.
Okay, awesome. So I can overwhelm you with my questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, I will try with the first question to take you back a few years. So or better question is maybe how did you recognize your passion for the customer success field and become a leader in this industry?
Sure. So I've been lucky because customer success management was not as famous as it is now. So when I started in customer success management, it was a bit more than 6 years ago, time flies, as you mentioned. And so what happened is that I had to move in south of France. Back then, I was living in Paris and I was a project manager. And just before being a project manager, I was a crappy sales manager. So what happened is that when I had to move in the south of France, I contacted every living company in Bordeaux where I had to live and asked for a job in the digital industry. Then a company answered me, an amazing company called Azendu by then. And I became their first customer success manager. So that's how the adventure began.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started the job, it did not really exist, the function. I did not know exactly what was expected from me. So what I did is that I've read everything I could regarding customer success to pretend I was a professional. And then it just became more and more interested. And I think the main difference between me back then and me now is that now I know that I know nothing. And the more we know, the more we learn, the more we understand that we have better experts somewhere else. So this is how the journey began.
Oh, that's very inspiring, actually. It's always interesting, especially interesting for me to hear that what was hidden in those beginnings, who encouraged you, then personal development, then finding your real purpose in a career path. So thank you for sharing your beginning with me. So
pleasure.
I believe you had a lot of challenges and lessons along the way, but they are all part of our growth, and this now leads to my next question. When it comes to the digital CSM and open book of customer success, what inspires you to create it? Can you tell me a little more about it, actually?
So I started creating the open book of customer success during the first COVID, the first confinement, the first lockdown. So I used to work for a CSM, for a CS software. And I quickly recognized and I quickly understood that we have tons of tools available, tons of resources, tons of material available, but we do not communicate to each other. And really what I wanted to do for years was to create a page where everything could be found easily. And it was really something first to make life more easy for me. But at the end of the day, if it benefits me, it can benefit to others. And so I started to work with Diana De Jesus, which is now an amazing CSM at Catalyst. And yeah, we launched Open Book of Customer Success. We worked together. She did an amazing job at promoting our project. I'm also trying to do that a bit in France and in the other part of the world. And we have other projects coming for Open Book of Customer Success. So stay tuned.
Yeah,
so that was
on LinkedIn, actually. I follow her on LinkedIn and I really love her posts, you know.
Yeah. Right. She's amazing. Yeah. She's great.
Really,
she's so inspiring. Yeah. And she's amazing in a way that you can feel in her posts, even when you discuss with her, that she wants to share her passion. So that's amazing. Yeah. And then a few years, sorry,
I had to say that's actually where knowledge gets its value, actually.
Exactly.
It's always more valuable and useful when it's shared. I have to admit that I'm extremely surprised how many people actually in customer success industry share their knowledge through LinkedIn and, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly that. I think we are lucky enough in customer success because we are a family. So it's really weird when you're in customer success and if you don't know the leaders like Jonathan, if you don't know Marcus, which you interviewed, I think, if you don't know like people who are amazing, like Gensai to Tango, people who make the difference. You have to know them. And these people are amazing. Or Christy, she's great. So the real thing here is that these people are generous in a way that they always accept to discuss with you on their free time and they don't charge you to talk. Yeah. So I think it's, they are amazing leaders in a way that they accept to discuss. And at the end of the day, we all learn from each other, from our success, from our failures. So that's great.
Yeah.
And when I started digital customer success management a few years ago as well, so it was a shift in my career as I used to be a high-touch customer success. I wanted to go out of my comfort zone and become a digital customer success manager, which is an amazing job. I really enjoy what I do now. And I just started exactly the way I did when I started in customer success manager. I knew the main line, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to achieve, but I knew some people were more experienced than I was. So I contacted amazing people like Brian Lafay, Boaz Moore, amazing people. I know I forget people, they're going to kill me. But basically, I interviewed them. I also interviewed people that I did not know. So we can discuss about a specific topic like customer marketing, segmentation, emailing, onboarding. And based on that, all the things they shared with me was so interesting that I've put everything on the digital customer success management, the digitalcsm.com website, so everyone can benefit from it. So really, yes, I'm passionate about what I do, but it's mainly because we are surrounded by inspiring people. Yeah. So we all are a piece of the puzzles.
I couldn't more agree with you. So you're also doing a lot of stuff to promote customer success management, if I understand, to awaken the consciousness of people about the industry, you know. So would you like to explain one day-to-day in life of a customer success manager? How it look like from your perspective?
So what's a day of a regular customer success manager, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is no typical day. Basically, the job is all about making sure that the customer is getting value out of the product. So that's the guideline. Now, obviously, you have the ideal journey and you have the reality. The reality, let's be honest, is way more different than what we would like to be. So in reality, you have a lot of customers who think you as a support. Mm-hmm. You have tons of internal conversation with the department within your company, so you can digest all the new information and find a way to deploy it to your customers. Yeah. You have to get on meetings with your customer, ideally to let them know about the value of the product, but most of the time you end up speaking about features. Mm-hmm. So, and the constant challenge in customer success manager is, so it's various. On one part, you have to always focus on the value you want to deliver to the customer. And you know, Marcus, you know, he's always spoke about that. So I'm 100% aligned with him. So really, yes, the objective is, okay, Mr. Customer, what is your goal? You don't have a goal? Let's find out your goal. This is the promise our software, our solution is offering. How does it meet your need? What is your need? How can you do that kind of thing, etc. And it's all about creating milestones for the customer so he can achieve his objective. Then it's also always about, how can I say that? It's about structuring the customer. Okay, I can help you on this specific feature, but as a customer success manager, I can be a strategic advisor. I can push you educative content. I can push you training content. But at the end of the day, I'm not the support. I'm not reactive. I'm not here to help you push a button. I'm here to help you achieve your objective. So it's not about rejecting what you want to do. It's what you want your customer, what your customer are asking you. Sorry, it's really about pushing them in the right direction so they can really achieve their objectives in the long term. And it's a constant vulgarization. It's a constant evangelization.
Yeah, you have to interview your users.
Exactly.
Actually. And what do you think from your perspective? Who is responsible for customer onboarding process? A sales department or customer success department? That's my question now from
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's a great question. I would say that it strongly depends on your software. Obviously, when you have a very heavy software and something that's very difficult to implement, you have to get someone dedicated. Now, you have to take into consideration different things. What is onboarding means for you? Does it mean implementation? Does it mean leading the customer to the idea, to the first value, the aha moment? Does it mean like just doing the kickoff call so we can understand start point, end point, ideal point of view? And so it's really depend on that.
Yeah.
Once you've defined that, once you've defined that, you can easily identify who's owning the relationship and who's owning this part. Full disclosure, now you have teams fully dedicated just to the onboarding part. If the software is easy, it's better to have the CSM to take the part, and the handover must be done with the sales, the CSM, and the customer. So the customer understands that the company helps him to achieve the objective, and it's not the sales, then the CMSM. It's not a person, it's really Mr. Customer, the company helps you. And we all work together. We work together. There is no silos.
Actually, with the same goal.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's exactly the same result. And well, that's another topic, but there is also this war, this known war between sales and customer success, but that's for another day.
So a lot of things to handle there, but somehow when you have a clear mission and vision, everything's become easier.
Exactly.
So we usually have some day-to-day challenges, and maybe they are not always connected with the job, But for example, when we talk about career and customer success role, what difficulties did you encounter in the most challenging case you had actually? Do you actually handle a lot of complaints on a daily basis, for example?
Well, it all depends of what you hear as a complaint. So obviously for the customer, let's be honest, in the software industry, even in our company, people don't know what is customer success management. So you tend to do customer success management and support. So that's a huge challenge. So when you help your customer, if you have a dedicated department for support, and if you are CSM, if your customer is asking for your help, you help him, and you always redirect him to the right place to ask his questions the next time. So you don't close the door, but you politely redirect him to the right door. Now in the direct friction we can have in the CSM daily routine, there is obviously bugs to handle, non-adoption of the software, roadmap, feature requests. And for all of that, I think when it comes to answering to these needs, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of the customer. And what does the customer want? He wants transparency. He wants to have a guideline. So let's take back the different examples that we've said. He wants a new feature. You want a new feature? Okay. Why do you want a new feature? I want this feature. I'm asking you, why do you want this feature? Because maybe there is another way to achieve the objective that you want to achieve. Okay, so I don't want this. So I want to have this feature because I want to achieve this, so I can get the goal of this. Okay, you can do that, or etc. Okay,
needs actually.
Exactly. What is the desired outcome? Okay, it makes sense. You want this. We don't have this at the moment. And it's not in the roadmap because the focus of the roadmap now is to focus on to answer on this trend of the market. So at least the customer gets a no in the face, but he understands what's happening. There is a bug. Okay, there is a bug. Let's be honest, as a customer, it's so frustrating when there is a bug in a product, especially when you need the answer. We understand that. Of course, he's going to get angry. So what to do in that case? Okay, I'm going to talk to the tech team. If the tech team or if the dev team, does not communicate to the customer directly about the advancement of the bug, you create a bulk list of all the people who contacted you complaining about this bug. And once every 2 days, once a week, you ask an update to the dev team and you explain and vulgarize to the customer what's happening. It's frustrating. You will not make things last shorter, but at least you give visibility. So I'm not saying that it's cool, but that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
And I had a third example, and I don't remember what it is.
That is really challenging. A lot of steps to cover in this process. But you're also promoting digital CSM strategy.
Yes.
So what might be difference between traditional customer success and digital customer success?
So I think when it comes to digital customer success management, and honestly, my example for that is Brian Lafay, digital customer success manager at Google. He's amazing. Boaz Maurer, Carl, who's a former digital customer success at Facebook. Obviously, you have the guys at Pendo. So all of amazing, inspiring leaders. The main difference when it comes to digital customer success management is about considering the user and not the account. You will not get the same opportunity and you will not have the same touch point with the customer. So the challenge of the digital customer success manager is hit right for every touch point. You won't have a second chance. And if you want an answer to a question, like, did you achieve your goal? Don't go through different questions. Just don't overcomplicate, stay simple. Did you achieve your goal? Yes, no, why? And you can build decision tree out of that. So the main challenge with digital customer success management is understanding what can be digitalized, how you can operationalize, put that into operation, see if the data translate what you want to achieve. And if you cannot translate in digital world what you want to achieve, how can you do that as a one-to-many option?
Yeah, this one is good to know. I like it actually, and I think it might be the future of the customer success actual role as well.
Finger crossed.
Finger crossed. So, Elisabeth, from your perspective, how it's important to build the close bonds with customers, to keep that as a professional relationship, but to put yourself in their shoes and encourage them to share their feedback, for example?
Sure. I think it's all of us the same thing. Don't overcomplicate things. So never speak about the features, speak about the benefits. And then you can speak about the feature. No one cares about your product. Yeah. What we care about is how it can help them solve their product. So it's all about storytelling, understanding what they are going through. If you want to convince them, explain that someone was in the same situation, what did they get from it. And yeah, when it comes to putting yourself in the customer's shoes, speak with them simply. No one asks you to be smart. We ask you to be clear so you can drive and convey the conversation or the goal that has been asked from your company.
Yeah, it's actually important to hear their opinion and to value their opinion in the end of the day. So do you think that customer feedback is a guidepost in delivering value? What would be your advice, for example, for those customer success leads that don't collect data about their customer satisfaction?
Well, I'll pray for them. Honestly, it's very difficult when you don't have the data because data tells you everything. However, you don't have to, you have to be careful about not falling into the dark side of the data, meaning not listening about what your customer has to say. Let's be honest, you can click 1,000 times on a button and still don't get value out of the product. So the data is a way to understand or to trigger a good conversation. I saw you did not do that, or we thought you did not do that. And even when you say that, you have to be careful to not be displayed as Big Brother, because no one likes that.
Yeah, I agree.
So maybe when you don't have data, you can use sentiment and you can use forms to create your own data to understand what the customer wants. And you will still have information from the CRM, like the person, his email, the type of his company, the industry, the size of the company. So you can still have a better image. And especially in digital CS, you can use forms, but you have to be careful. Forms must be short. They must remain short, because the attention can disappear very quickly. And if you send a form, if you want to send a form to understand the behavior at some point, don't send it if you're not going to use it widely. And think with yourself, like take a step back and imagine or try to picture how you will use this data. Is this data very critical? If you cannot live without this information, if you will never be able to live with this information, will it be the end of the world? So you really have to get the pros and cons. So that's my answer.
Actually, you have to interview your users to know what is the core of your research, what you want to know from your users, what you want to measure.
Exactly.
And then if you measure that, for example, to don't put it in a trash, then to act on it in the
end. Exactly.
What is metrics if you don't use it in right purpose? So I get the insight that customer success managers often have a challenge when it comes to upselling and cross-selling. They have to know how to sell without selling. So what is your advice for those situations? How do you handle it? Actually, I ask from my sales role, for example. So
I understood you asked me a question about it's difficult to upsell and cross-sell.
Yeah. How do you know how to sell without selling for you as a customer success manager? How do you handle it? What is your advice for that?
I think gotcha. Why does a customer buy why do a customer buy our product? To achieve a result, or to increase, for instance, productivity. So when he achieved did he achieve his first goal? And then can your product help him increase productivity even better? How so? So you can tell that it's time to upsell. You can recognize that it's time to upsell if the customer is successful with you, meaning he achieved his goal. So it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about qualitative data. Okay, you achieve this goal. How far? But we can help you even better. So you proved your value, and after you say, okay, we have another way that will help you improve your value even more.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I understand. So how is it important for customer success managers to be a product expert?
I would say that it's always important to have a bit of understanding about what the product does. You don't have to know all the details, obviously. But if you are passionate about your job, you must know the product, the only thing that you need to be careful about when you are an expert is don't jump to answer right away. Listen to the pain of the customer. You have to remember CSM equal consultant, strategic consultant. So, don't say you have this problem, this feature will solve it. Okay, you have this problem. If I bring you this benefit, can it help? Yeah. If I bring you this benefit, what will be the impact of the end result? So the customer gets desire. Yeah. And you still did not say anything about the feature. So he wants to get it. He doesn't know what it is, but you tell him that there is a solution and that he can get to the end point. So he gets motivation. And then after you can say, okay, I think this feature might be interesting for you. And you don't have to explain everything about the feature as long as he understood it. I think the main issue with CSMs now but I may I may have done the same mistake or may do the same now, is that we focus so much about the features or explaining what the feature is about that we forget the desired part. And the desire part is an excellent driver for motivation. So what is so difficult, and it goes back to the adoption, people don't want to adapt features. They don't want to apply the technical requirements that we ask them to do in order to activate a feature because they are not motivated. And they are not motivated because they don't see the end goal.
Yeah.
So always remember the end goal, always remember the benefit they have, and then use this motivation so they can activate the features they want.
Yeah, I think it's really important, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us. So as a customer success manager, you actually need a combination of different skills, how to say. And on the other hand, to have that technical knowledge to help clients to patch things up and help them to grow their business. So my next question will be about those newbies in customer success world. What might be the most desirable traits for someone who just started working in a customer success world? I know that many things can be learned in a process, actually, but what about those skills or attitudes that you have to have before you think about this?
Sure.
Actually?
Sure. I think you need to be a good listener. You need to know how to ask the question. You have to be naive, so you don't jump to solution. You have to know how to ask questions. Obviously, you need to have additional skills, like being a good teacher, ability to reformulate stuff, and ability to reformulate stuff for the customer, but also internally. Obviously, when it comes to becoming a CSM, you also have to have project management skill because you will have to deal with so many hats. You will have to prioritize tons of stuff. And yeah, I think, let's be honest, when we started, like people who started customer success management 6-7 years ago, we did not have the teaching skills that young people have now. And I think we are not doing that bad.
Yeah, you're great. It actually makes sense. I believe in mentorship programs where you can learn a lot and also believe in self-awareness and personal development. So I think that might be, from my perspective, the core of personal growth and professional growth on the other hand.
Exactly.
What is the most inspiring thing about your role? What new skills have you developed through the time?
The skill? I could not answer that, honestly. I think, honestly, the only things that I know now, as I told you, is that I know that I know nothing. But I think it's good because it's the ability to be naive. So I'm not afraid to say to the customer, okay, you say that you want this feature, but I place a stupid one. I don't understand. Explain me. Okay, I don't understand. Explain. But if I do this, does it mean that I'll do this? So I make the connection. And then it's a good way to become not the best friend, but a good, understand, really put myself in the shoes of the customer. So stupidness would be the skill that I developed the best.
Well, it's a constant movement. I'm sure that you have worked a lot and extremely improved your knowledge during these years. And yeah, there is always something new to learn, so
exactly.
I guess you get a lot of information and raise your knowledge through the books and what is also interesting today, podcasts. So would you recommend some books to read or podcasts to listen to that helps you in your career development now, for example?
I have tons of books to recommend. I was looking at my shelf because but it's too messy. I cannot show you everything that's on it, but I have tons of books on customer success. My husband is yelling at me because Amazon is knocking on the door every single day with a new CS book. Yeah, I would recommend tons of books. The best one to get started is, I put that on the bottom, The Startup Guide to Customer Success, Jennifer Cheng. So it's amazing for beginners. Because when you know how to get stuff, it's a good way to structure the way you think. Success Hacker certification is something good as well. So you can organize and put names of stuff I think the outcome generation is a nice one as well, in a way that you put the end goal at the center.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading this day Never Lose a Customer Again, so I can better understand how to seduce customer and what to put on the top on my priorities. The podcasts that I listen a lot are LinkedIn and CSMs and Co. Sorry, it's in French. So a guy from LinkedIn launched that, and it's amazing. Churn FM as well. It's an amazing podcast. Mm-hmm. And I also hear a lot of webinars. So my best advice would be to go on Open Book of Customer Success.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe to the newsletter you are interested in, because for people who don't know, Open Book of Customer Success is the resource of the resources. Mm-hmm. So it's an aggregation of everything that happens. So really, we did not reinvent the wheel. We just put new stuff when they're coming. So we strongly encourage you to look at that. Mm-hmm. And everyone sees and everyone will find his happiness in this website, because you will have tons of articles, tons of books, tons of podcasts. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just go there. And we also promote tons of communities, Slack communities. So if you are more interested or more seduced in general to discussing in direct, just go there.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. I noted on my notes about all that books and podcasts. So, Elisabeth, that was my last question. So I hope I didn't tire you.
Already?
I have a lot of questions in my mind, but I can write them down and keep them for our next meeting, for example. I hope we will meet again to chat and exchange some new insights and experience, if you agree. So
absolutely, let's do that.
Yeah, I really like and enjoy to chat with you. I want to thank you on my own behalf and on the behalf of the Metrics Flare teams. So thank you for the value you have given us today, for the experience you have shared. And I wish you a many successful steps in your future work.
So do you.
Thank you so much. I saw that you start to share daily motivation on LinkedIn. So just continue with that and with your useful content. So I like it. And I'm also sure that there are also a lot of people around like me who will find them inspiring for their growth. So thank you so much for that.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you for being with me today.